Hi, this is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and thank you so much for buying my book, Day Trading Made Easy, and welcome to your free video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a couple things that are a little easier to show in a video than in a book. I'm going to show you how to set up your trading chart, especially using freestockcharts.com. I'm going to show you how to screen for good stocks to day trade, and then I'll show you some tricks that will help to make the strategy even more profitable. So let's get started. Now, to use this, you're going to have to use either Safari or Firefox. I have Safari open right now. So I go to freestockcharts.com, all one word, freestockcharts.com. And when you get here, you want to click Run Free Version. And then it's going to ask me to update my Silverlight plugin. This is needed in order to run this program. So I will click Update at Microsoft. Silverlight is being asked here whether I want to use it. Safari is actually asking me if I want to use Silverlight, so I'll just say use it once. Now, depending on your browser and your system, you may need to actually go to the Microsoft website and download Silverlight to get this to work. In my case, it just turned it right on. Okay, so we're connecting. Now, when you first open it up, it's a little bit of a mess here. So what we're going to first do is to try to set up the chart so that it's ready for the Day Trading Made Easy, the Day Sniper strategy. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go up to View here, and we'll get rid of the scrolling ticker. That's a little bit distracting. And we'll also go to View, and we'll say Show Full Screen Chart. Now you can see here we have a chart of Microsoft. This must be the default at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to change this from daily to 15-minute bars or 15-minute candlesticks. Now you may need to adjust whether you have a bar chart here or a candlestick. So if you want to do that, you go under Price History, you do Edit, and it'll let you check here whether you want candlesticks, bars, Heikin Ashi, etc. You want to click this on candlesticks. I like to show filled and filled for up and down bars, and I like the up bars to be green and the down bars to be red, so I can have an idea whether the stock's moving up or down. That's basically all you need to do there is click OK. So now we have a 15-minute chart, and this is pretty much what we need for the day trading strategy. So for the next step, let's take a look at where we're going to screen for charts. So let's go to Stock Twits to try to screen for some stocks to trade today. If you haven't signed in before, you're going to need to click Join. This is a completely free service. I already have an account, so I'm just going to click Sign In, put in my username, password. So now I'm logged on to StockTwits, and this is a really great place to check in the afternoon after the market closes or the early evening to see which stocks are moving based on their earnings report. And you can also check this first thing in the morning because some companies will report their earnings first thing before the market opens in the morning. Now, what I like to look at here, and I discuss this a little bit in the book, is this top line here where it says trending. And you can click on these, you click on a ticker. What these are stocks that people are talking a lot about, and there's usually news moving the stocks, and there's a lot of bit of interest. So it's a very nice way to get an idea of which stocks are moving, especially which stocks are moving based on earnings. Now, another place you can just go to Google and type in CNBC earnings surprises, and then click on the top result. This is also a very good place here. Just if I can close the ad. This will give you an idea of other stocks. So for example, Valiant is moving today, Office Depot. So what you can do then is you can read up either after the market closes or right before it opens. This is another good place to find it. Find stocks that are going to be good to day trade. But we're going to go back to StockTwits for today. And we're going to go through here. We're going to look at some of the tickers up here. Now I've done this in advance. So we're going to look at W, which is the ticker for Wayfair. They just reported amazing earnings, and the stock is gapping up, moving up almost 24%. Now, what you want to do is do this right before the market opens, obviously. This was probably, this one reported earnings early this morning. If you want to know, dig in a little bit more what happened, you can just type in W earnings in Google, then go under News, and you can see that read up exactly what is moving the stock. And you can see this was scheduled to report earnings right before the market opened today. So now that we have an idea of something to trade, let's take the ticker W, and we'll go back to freestockcharts.com, type in W. You can just click on the screen, type in W, and it'll come up. Now this is something you want to do right before the market opens or during the first 15 minutes of trading. So you can see here, this is the first bar that traded today. Today's Tuesday, May 9th. And you can see the stock's gapping up quite a bit. So as we discussed in the book, you want to wait for this first candlestick to form. And when it forms, you want to go long at the at the close of this bar, of this first 15-minute candlestick. And then you want to set your stop at the low. So if we'd been trading this morning, we would have found out about it on StockTwits. We would have sat here and watched the first 15-minute bar form. And this can be a little bit tricky because we might have been watching Valiant, VRX, we might have been watching Shopify, SHOP, looking at all these different ones. So that you're going to be very busy during that first 15 minutes. But once you get a nice trade like this where it's reported earnings, it's gapping up, and we can scroll out to see, just to make sure that it's gapping up well above the highs of the last 20 days. And we can see that's definitely true in this case. It's hitting all-time new highs. So then we set in our limit right at 6:45 or 9:45 Eastern time. We do a limit order right at the close of this first 15-minute candlestick, and that was at 61.72. And then we place a mental stop right at the bottom, right at the low of this first candlestick. And so you can see if we traded this today, we would have gone long at 61.72. The stock's now trading up to 63.14. So moving nicely in the right direction. So that's basically how you set up the stock chart and how you screen for good stocks to trade. Now you can also, I list some links in my book, but you can just go to Google and type in earnings calendar if you want to get an idea of what stocks to trade tomorrow. So for example, we can go to, let's just check out Yahoo Finance earnings calendar. And we can see tomorrow that on May 10th there are 828 earnings reports. And if you scroll down here, it'll tell you the ticker on the left here, and it will tell you whether the earnings are reported after the market closes, before the market opens, etc., etc. Now there's obviously quite a few here. That's why it's often quite useful to wait to see stocks that are moving. Because it's not enough just to report amazing earnings or terrible earnings. We want to see the stock actually gapping. Now, another way to do this is we can go to Finviz, FINVIZ.com. This is a great website. You go to, close the ad, click on Screener, and then click on Technical. And you just have to close these ads unless you are a member. This is totally free. So we're here where it says gap. What we can do is we can say we only want to look at stocks that are gapping up, say 5%. And then that will give us a whole list of stocks here. And we can do this in the before the first 15 minutes are up. So we go here, we just pick a random one. Let's see, DLA was gapping up. So then we can go back to free stock charts, DLA, assuming it's the first 15 minutes of the market, DLA. So this was an interesting case. You can see that it moved up quite a bit. Didn't gap open, but that first 15-minute candlestick was quite strong, and it's proceeded to trend. Now, there are many stocks listed here. You can see some of them have very low volume. So I would personally focus on the ones that have the high volume in the hundreds of thousands or in the millions. So let's take a look at DCTH. That looks like it has good volume. DCTH. Oh, it's a very low price stock. That's actually a good reminder. So another thing you can do is once you've decided on what sort of gap you're looking for, and stocks usually gap just because there's new information, whether it's earnings or some other report. You can look at gaps up, gaps down. I like to look at gaps up 3% or more or down 5% or more. So let's say up 5% or more. These are big moves that institutional traders will have to try to track down. Now, what I didn't do before is once you get here, you can sort by price. Now you can see many of these stocks are tiny, tiny little penny stocks. I don't recommend doing this strategy on stocks that are under $5, maybe even under $10 a share. So you can sort by price, and you can look at sort of these stocks on the first page that are trading good volume. So let's see, here's another one, Gulfport Energy Corporation. You can see it's trading at 16 and it's trading 3 million shares. It's a real stock. So let's go back, type in GPOR. And you can see this one did not really gap up in the way we'd be looking for in that first candlestick. First candlestick was strong, but it was not above the highs. The lows here are below the highs of the previous days, and you can see it's slightly weak as a result. Let's pick another random one. Wayfair. So here's Wayfair, which was the one we were looking at trading. And here's another nice option. You can see if you mouse over these, you can see a chart. And this will help you get a good idea of whether they're really gapping up. So here's an interesting one. Sturm and Ruger at RGR. It's a gun maker. RGR. Looks like they reported quite good earnings, and then are selling back off. So this one gapped up nicely, as you can see, RGR, and had two very nice candlesticks, and now is sort of trading back in range. Anyway, that gives you a lot of resources to look for to find good stocks to day trade. So just to review, we have StockTwits, CNBC earnings surprises. We have FinViz, as well as the Yahoo Finance earnings chart. Now, before we move on, I want to give you one other resource that you can use to chart these stocks. If for some reason you weren't able to get freestockcharts.com to work on your computer, and again, I want to reiterate, you want to use this on Firefox, Safari. It will not work on Chrome. You need to use you need to have access to the Silverlight plugin, and Google Chrome does not like using this Microsoft plugin. So let me give you another free website, and this is tradingview.com. tradingview.com. You can just go here, and again, it's another free site, and you can click right in the middle here. We're going to type in W, so that was the stock we were looking at, Wayfair. Select Wayfair, and it will launch a chart. And then what you can do is you can use this minus sign down here to adjust the chart, and the plus side to make it wider. You can drag it like this, just putting your mouse down. Now, I usually like to X out volume for this strategy. You can go up here, and the default setting is for 1 day. We're going to set it to 15 minutes for the same strategy we've been using. And basically, you can see you've got, if we scroll back, we'll see, yes, Wayfair is gapping way above its 20-day highs. And then we can scroll back in, take a look at that first 15-minute candlestick, just as we did on freestockcharts.com. Here's the first 15-minute candlestick. We go long with this at the low. Now, before we finish, I want to give you one more tip that I talk about a little bit in the book. Go back to Wayfair. There are really two ways there are a few ways of trading this strategy. Now, the one way where you can really sort of maximize profits over the long term is you enter at 6:45 or 9:45 right at the beginning, and you hold it all the way to the end of the day. And the reason this works so well is you may break even or even lose money on a few trades, but you'll capture over time, if you do this again and again, you'll capture some very, very big intraday trends, and that will be where your money comes from. Now, the other way we can do it is I found, and I do mention this in the book, that stocks tend to peak. If you want to do a little shorter term trade, there tends to be a local maximum or peak around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 1 o'clock East Coast time. And this tends to be when people are going to lunch, especially on the East Coast. But I found that often, and right now it's 10:25, and you can see that Wayfair is sort of stuck in the doldrums. But I found that if you want to get out of a trade and sort of be done with work for the day, exiting at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard or 1 o'clock East Coast Standard Time tends to be, at least in 2017, that seems to be a pretty good time to exit. And the more you trade the strategy, the more you'll see these patterns form. Now, the other way you can do it is you can insert a simple trailing stop. So let's do this on this chart. We're going to go add indicator, and we're going to take a look at parabolic SAR. So the way parabolic SAR works, I go into this a little bit more in my trading course. I covered it in a little bit more depth. But what it does is it provides an automatic trailing stop. So as the stock moves higher, the trailing stop will also move higher. Now, you want to be long a stock when it is trading above the dots. And you want to be short a stock, or at least get out of your longs, when it is trading below the dots. So I'm just adjusting the chart here. You can see if you mouse over here, you can adjust the chart to make it a little more readable. So you can see in this case, parabolic SAR would have gotten us long going into Wayfair earnings, which is kind of interesting. It looks like it was trending already before the earnings came. But what you can do with this day trading strategy is you can use parabolic SAR as a trailing stop. So you enter in this first bar, and then you hold either until the end of the day, or until you trade below the lows of the first candlestick, as we've mentioned many times, or until the stock takes out one of these dots. Now you can see as soon as the dots flip to the upper side, fortunately this chart does all the calculations. It's a fairly complicated calculation. But we would have exited the trade right here on this bar at 62.65, right when the parabolic SAR dots went above. So this is a very nice way of using a trailing stop to sort of swing trade intraday. And so it really depends on your trading style, whether you want to hold through the day and then exit at the end of the day, or if you want to use a trailing stop like this. And some people who want to turn this into a swing trade, sometimes this parabolic SAR, the stock will just keep moving up day after day. And if you do this, you've already sort of exited the area of day trading. But if you want to turn a day trade into a swing trade, it's a little bit more of an advanced strategy. You can use this parabolic SAR to stay in the trade. And so if the stock is trading above parabolic SAR when the market is about to close, you say, I'm going to hold it overnight, if you want to turn it into a swing trade. And then the next day you watch it very carefully, and you just stay long the stock until it takes out its parabolic SAR. The parabolic SAR flips and the dots go on the upper side. And sometimes I've done this, and you might end up holding the stock for a week. It just trends really, really well. It looks like Wayfair wasn't quite as strong. It came out in the middle of the day. So it really depends on your trading strategy and your trading psychology and personality. So when you're first starting out, I would definitely encourage you to follow the day sniper strategy very to the letter and obey all the rules. But the more you trade it, you'll learn that there are lots of little tricks like this, using parabolic SAR, exiting in midday, turning it into a swing trade, etc. And the more you trade it, you'll develop your own trading style. And that's one of the great things about trading. You'll discover what works the best for your particular psychology. Thank you so much for listening to this trading tutorial. And thanks again for buying my book, Day Trading Made Easy. I'm always available if you have questions. Matt@trader.university. Matt@trader.university. Or check out the contact form and all the content on my website, www.trader.university. Thanks again for listening.